Okay, so let's look at some of the popular casing or naming convention. So some popular casing styles. Now, these ones are the one that you're likely going to meet when you are programming. Those ones, they are the common ones. Now, we we have one called snake case. Now, snake case is the one we have actually been using. We have been using with underscore, and then we have kebab case. We have camel case. Then we have Pascal. We have Pascal case. So these are the ones that you're going to meet, and they're the ones you likely need if you're going to do programming. So we are now going to look at each of these, and so we get to know how they work, because we are in this course we are going to use two or more of these, and but as you progress with your programming, you'll find that you end up using most of them. So let's start with snake case, which is going to be the one we use a lot. So in a snake case, what you simply do is you separate each word, separate. These are things you need to know about snake case. You separate each word with an underscore. So like, then secondly, you have to make sure that each character or word is in lowercase. Lowercase means that this is what usually called in small letters. Some of you call it in small letters. So in other words, every word must first be in small letters, and then you separate each word using an underscore. So for example, in our example, where we had number of goats, assuming you have number of goats, so you have number, you make sure that these words, these are characters in lowercase, then you have number of goats, something like this. So 47. So in this context, we separate each of these words with an underscore. So that's just important. Now this usually use the usage. Let's have usage here. So this is used in naming variables. Now I told you that this is a variable. So when you create something to store some data, then that's called variable. We are going to look at it in more detail, but it's called variable. And then you can also use it in naming what we call functions. Now functions are groups of codes. We are going to look at them, how they look like. They are groups of codes, and you can also use them in naming what they call methods. Now methods are like functions, but they are simply operations of particular objects. So now I'm not going to show you what method is, but when you start learning on the course unit called object-oriented, I mentioned in the previous tutorial, you will learn how methods look like and how they are different from functions. And also within just few course units, you'll also learn what functions are. So, and also we can use this to name files. We have seen that we can use for naming files. We saw that when we are naming Python scripts, we are using this. So we can use naming files, and also we can use it to name folders. So it means that for our case, if we are going to name folders, if we are going to name files, and then in future when you learn about variables, functions, and methods, always remember to use a snake case. Now, so of course, snake case is used in programming languages like Python, so it's common used. So where are you going to find snake case? So where? So you're going to find snake case in Python, in databases. So in databases, you are going to find it in naming, especially naming tables, and columns. So it means that we also have a course unit in this course where we shall look at databases. So when we reach there, you should be able to name columns using snake case, tables using snake case. Now, right now, if you don't know what a table is, column is, you will learn about it when you reach that course unit. Or there's also a course called Database Programming and Design. You can learn more about it there. Now, there's a variation of snake case called screaming snake case. Let me just put here. So there's screaming. This is what we call screaming snake case. So now this is a variation of snake case. So this is all caps. This is all caps version of snake case. So what this means is that, remember, there are two conditions. One, we need to make sure that all the words or characters are in lowercase. Then two, we separate them with underscore. So in the screaming snake case, what you do is all the characters, this time all the characters are uppercase. So they are capitalized. All the characters are uppercase, and then of course each word is separated with a word. Each word is separated with an underscore. Underscore. So in this context, so in this case, our number of goats will be like this. Number of goats. Number of goats will be like this. 47. So this is a screaming snake. So this is a version. It's common one. That. Now, this is usually used in all actual programming languages, and it's specifically used to declare constant. So this one usually used to declare constant. So this one's used to declare constants in most programming languages. So what is a constant in this sense? So a constant is simply a data item that does not change. So this is a data object whose value doesn't change throughout the execution of the program. In other words, if we create a number of goats and we assign this value to, and this is the value we have assigned, which is 47. If the program runs without 47 changing. Without changing it, maybe 48. Like we don't have new goals, maybe it's just 47 throughout the program. So in that case, this is called a constant. So it means that over time, we're going to look at constants more, but over time when you want to store data that you know this data's value is not supposed to change, then you may use a screaming snake case. So in the next tutorial, we are going to look at another case called kebab. See you there.